Fermentation is one of the critical and essential steps in bread baking. It is through the various complex biochemical reactions that are caused by the yeast cells that fermentation achieves the following goals for the baker. 1. Improves dough handling characteristics. 2. Enhances gas retention in doughs. 3. Enhances finished product texture. 4. Provides desirable fermentation flavor. 5. Extends shelf life of final product.
Fermentation is an anaerobic metabolic pathway that occurs after the process of glycolysis, breaking down a glucose molecule making a pyruvate molecule. During the fermentation process, a pyruvate will further be broken down into either ethanol or lactic acid, which are both toxins. In the case of yeast fermentation, a pyruvate is broken down into ethanol. The smell of baking bread is in part due to the smell of ethanol.
Given that fermentation is caused by yeast, a living cell, the controls that need to be put in place have to be effective in influencing the environmental factors that regulate yeast activity in that dough. It is also worthwhile to point out that in a dough, yeast is active from the point it is mixed with the other dough ingredients in a mixer until the point it is inactivated in the oven. The various factors that affect yeast activity and the degrees of fermentation in the baking process. 1. Fermentation time. The longer the fermentation time, the higher the degree of fermentation. 2. Fermentation temperature. Higher temperature increases fermentation activity. Specific ingredients in dough formulation. Level of water, sugar, salt, and mold inhibitor. The more water used, the less time it takes to ferment. The high levels of sugar and salt are fermentation retardants.
Other foods that undergo fermentation are chocolate, wine, cheese, and tofu.